Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Cricket Club. And as I promised, I'm going to start a series called Star of Yesteryears. And today I have invited one of the former captain of Canada and who basically immigrated from Guyana. And then he played for Canada. And nowadays he's doing umpiring. So without doing much ado, let me welcome my guest and I will ask him to introduce himself and then we take it from there. Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Danny Singh. I started playing for Canada in 1982. Actually, I played in 1979 as a youth in the youth tournament in the under-19 program for Canada. So I was part of the Canadian under-19 team. Then I graduated to the senior team in 1982. And from 1982 to 1984, I was the only one to have played in those 4 consecutive ICC trophy World Cups for the, associate members. So it was from 82, 86, 90, and 94. I started captaining in 91 and I finished in 94. So the last 3 years playing for Canada, I was the captain. I was also the vice captain in 1990. So my career was from 1982 to 1994 with the senior team.
Yeah, welcome, Mr. Danny Singh, and I'm it is my pleasure to have you on my channel today. And my objective is to talk about the stars of yesteryears, whom people have almost forgotten, and to bring their contributions to Canadian cricket forward. So, as you said that you became the captain in 1991 and then you retired in 1994, right? So,
Right.
Can you briefly tell us some of the highlights of your career, which you remember?
Yes. Well, I would say one of the highlights of my career was when I was first called. I got that phone call in 1982 to say they needed me to go on the Canadian team because some guy his wife had gotten a baby and he had pulled out at the last minute. So I was really excited because I said to myself, this is happening so fast. The other day I was just playing under 19 cricket. Now here I'm just 21 and I'm making the Canadian team. So that was a highlight for me. As far as making runs, the best innings I ever played for Canada was I made 64 against Holland in 1990 in the ICC trophy, and that was also in Holland. We were in a little bit of trouble, so we ended up with about 199 and we won the game. It's always good to, when you make a good score, that it turns out into a win. I also made 44 not out against Barbados, but that was a loss. And it was one of my better innings because I was on the same field with Joel Garner and Gordon Greenidge, Barbados, famous Kensington Oval. So to me, that was one of the highlights of my career as a player. Now, as captain, if I were to pick out a highlight, it has to be actually captaining in my first game for Canada against the country of my birth. So that was at King City. So I ended up making 55 and top score with 55, and I also took 4 wickets for 33 or something like that. But
great. Yeah, that is indeed a beautiful memory. Can you tell us how was it like playing against the likes of Brian Lara and Duncan Fletcher? Like Fletcher was one of the top guy that time, right? From Zimbabwe.
Yeah, well, he was the captain for Zimbabwe at that time. Now, in that tournament in particular, I think that might have been his last tournament, and that was my first. So that game, we started playing against them, but that game was actually rained out. But they ended up winning the tournament. In fact, that year in England in '82, there was so much rain that there was hardly any games played. But yeah, just to meet them after the game and socialize with them, there was John Tricos, there was David Houghton, Kevin Curran, some of the famous, the Flower brothers weren't even there yet. There was another guy named Andy Pycroft. So he was another good.
And if I'm not wrong, that was the ICC championship through which they qualify for.
That's correct, status, right? And that is when Zimbabwe qualified. In fact, they qualified later on. They were always a team to beat, Zimbabwe and Bangladesh. So since I've been playing, those are the only 2 teams that ever got test status in Bangladesh. But throughout that time period from 82 to 84, they had some good teams like Holland. One time it was Kenya, another time it was United Arab Emirates. So there are always one or two teams that come around, and Ireland, always in the reckoning, right?
Mhm.
Mm.
Now, I think you have a very, very rich experience playing in Canada, and you have seen like so many years that cricket in Canada has changed uh,
Yes.
a lot. What do you think that it is changing for positive or negative? How you feel that the standard of cricket in Canada is going?
Well, from umpiring, it's really dropped. It's really low from when I started playing to now, and I don't know what it is, but it if you have to put your finger on it, I think they're playing too much cricket. They're playing a lot of cricket. I don't think they're, and it's a lot of T20, and I think you need to play a longer format of the game for younger players to develop.
Mhm.
T20 is just you get a green light, you swipe, you get out. Everybody's, oh well, it's T20. That's how I'm supposed to play. When we played, we never had anything like T20. And the other thing too, the rules have changed so much is that there was no leg side wide when we played. There was no free hit. You get a ball above the waist, that's a nice ball for you to hit away. Here, the guys are asking the umpire for free hit. They're pulling in their buttocks to get a ball down the leg side as a wide. You know what I mean. So they don't even know how to play on the onside. So there are some rule part of the rules that have changed. Um, I think it helps to make the batsman not as good as they should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
So do you think that too much of T20 has really spoiled Canadian cricket, the standard of the game?
Yeah, I think it's spoiling the game because I see a lot of good, talented players, but then they get into a situation where they have to just bat 3 or 4 balls, right?
Mhm.
I think they need to play a longer format, but I think the biggest problem in Canadian cricket has to be with the administrators.
Mhm.
The administrators need to find a way where they can get a pool of players to
Mhm.
train them, and because they're not playing enough cricket. You need to go to the Caribbean. You need to go to England. You need to go find places for them to play against better players than themselves, right?
Yeah.
And then the players themselves, as soon as they have one or two failures, they give up, and that's it. You don't see them again. And they and they,
So
and they, and they play the selectors and administrators are quick to chop and change, and you can't get build any continuity like that, right?
so how do you think that administrators should focus on domestic tournaments and make it more competitive? What would be your suggestion to do?
Well, first of all, I don't know where they'll get the funding from, but I know there's some influential, people around, that business people that can help the cricket community, but I don't know how much they want to put in their time and money. But the way I see it is that you still need to play a lot of games. Like when we played, you had a lot of touring teams would come here. So you had a lot of exposure to different levels of the MCC would come here, like teams from Barbados, teams from Jamaica, right? Teams
Mhm.
from you know all over the place, the US. So you have to have players playing at a different level than what they're used to in the league, because the league
Mhm.
is at one level. Players coming from outside and different countries, cricket playing countries, will help to raise their standards,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
suggest that it should be make like through immigrations, like you're inviting the foreigner players and infusing them into the domestic circuit to upgrade the quality of the cricket.
Well, you can do that too. I mean, they've always had that, where you have overseas players will come in. You have two or three playing in a club. That helps the local league, right? But
Mhm.
as far as developing your own Canadian players, I mean, nowadays I see there's a global T20. Some of them are getting exposure. They're making some money, but I think a lot of these guys, they're just looking at the destination, right? They're not looking at the journey. You make a quick buck, and next year you go practice again. You can make another. You know what I mean? Like they don't um they don't stick around like to say, okay, let's build something here, let's build a
Yeah,
good
there's no
Canadian.
continuity in the GT20. Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
that's why we all feel that there should be some continuity to uh,
yeah.
bring some benefit, right?
They need a pool of players, and you can't really get rid of them, because you play one tournament, and then you get rid of them, and then you play another one in 6 months, so there's got to be continuous cricket going on, and you have to have the trust in the players that okay, you're not going to get rid of this guy because, you know, the selectors are looking at you, the administrators are looking at you, and you say, okay, we have 30 guys here and they're all, you know, we can't just get rid of a guy because of a failure in 3 or 4 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you watch the recently concluded T20 qualifier in Oman by any chance?
No.
Okay. So one thing we always feel that the team is not playing like a unit. Like they need to play more often together and with against the higher quality team to realize that what are the lacunas and what are the minus point in the team and in the area they need to develop, right?
Right.
So with that, Danny, thank you very much. It was pleasure to have you on my channel. And it is like very good for a youngster to know about you that who played during 80s and 90s and also captain Canada. And nowadays, if you want to meet Danny Singh, you can meet him on the ground. He is also doing umpiring nowadays. And any last message you want to give, Danny, on this to the youngster?
Yeah, for the youngsters watching right now, there's nothing like, you know, passion for the game. Don't
Yeah.
let your parents tell you should play. Don't let your friends tell you should play. You should want to play. If you want to play and you find it, you can go out and practice 2 or 3 or 4 times a week. That's what's going to take you as far as you can go, because once somebody has to tell you or force you to go play, you're just wasting your time and you're wasting their time. It has to
Yeah.
come from within.
Come from within. Thank you very much for this wonderful message, Danny Singh. With that, we'll conclude this interview.
Thank you.
And I wish you all the best and keep rocking as you always.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.